ladies and gentlemen, is an extremely sad day in America and really the world over. Charlie Kirk has died due to a gunshot wound from a lone shooter who was perched on a rooftop at a Turning Point event with a rifle, took a professional shot that we're going to look at. This is an MLK Jr. level event. And the blacks are going to get pissed off about that. I don't care, frankly, because Charlie Kirk was a monolith, a huge figure who really changed the demographics of young men specifically, but young voters. This is a guy who's been turning out the vote, who's been getting voter registration, mobilizing voter registration events, getting young people involved into politics, doing these debates on campuses, showing you can have a rational discourse with people you disagree with. Most importantly, we were seeing a swing to the left in the 2010s of young people going to the left, millennials specifically. Then you had this 2016 election cycle where men, white men specifically, were really pissed off that they were getting told that they were effectively second-rate citizens because their minds were steeped in prejudice and racism. People said bullshit. And what really pisses me the fuck off about this assassination is, one, leftists, as you know, some of them they'll cry crocodile tears, they'll act like they care. You know, at the end of the day, in the bottom of their heart, they don't give a shit. They don't care. They're glad. And you can see the post that we're going to look at. They don't care in the least. They're thankful. They're glad. This is a hero. This is a Luigi Mangione type deal. And it's sickening. And you're going to see an MSNBC clip too, saying that it's a Trump supporter shooting a gun off, or a Charlie Kirk supporter shooting a gun off in celebration. Complete bullshit. We live in a time where one side is notorious and repetitive in their calls for and their incitement of violence, their actions of violence, and they're encouraged and cheered on by the said party, where they're calling the other side, us, people, conservatives, Christians, right-leaning folks, we're being called the radicals. So where we have to look at this situation with a very critical lens, a bird's eye view, without having a whole lot of information and data, is considering the scope of the attack, the viability and feasibility of this guy getting to where he got to, and then making the shot, one bullet and the kill. It's really implausible. And we have a patsy already. And very interestingly, we're going to look at another angle. And no, it's not the trans angle. We've seen the trans shooters and school shooters, so forth. No, it's our greatest ally. Harrison Smith made a pretty astute point recently, about a month ago. We're going to look at these things. So check this out. Somebody tell me, it's like the Thomas Crooks situation. We've got Thomas Crooks, this trans loner guy, terrible marksman, got kicked out of the shooting club or shooting team, makes a bullseye shot on Trump at the Butler rally. Well, here we are in Utah, UVU, and here is the shot. Here's where he took the shot, and here's where Charlie Kirk was. This is 455 feet, so 200 yards. 400 feet. Bullseye shot. This seems like a trained marksman. Now, don't take Luke Rutkowski's word or my word for it. Let your eyes do the deciphering. How does a man get into position in such a way where we can see precisely where he shot, and we can see him on the roof? Now, getting access to this with say it's a hunting rifle. It's a long-range rifle with a scope. He gets there, surely, probably with assistance from someone. We take these things with a critical eye, and we assume that political assassinations are things that these figures want and they are involved in. So, now, interestingly enough, thankfully, FBI Director Kash Patel said that the subject for the horrific shooting today that took the life of Charlie Kirk is now in custody. Thank you to the local and state authorities in Utah for your partnership. We will provide updates when we are able. We want the damn name of the guy. We want a real investigation into precisely what happened. Don't tell me he's got 4 devices. He has no social media presence. We're assuming this is he. No social media presence, 4 devices, all with super sophisticated spy tech with a bleach bit installed. No. We need to know all of it in an investigation where foreign entities or foreign countries involved, because surely there's an angle here. Now, I want to get to the more salacious stuff, and for the sake of this video not being 20 minutes long, here is Harrison Smith's post. It was a quote tweet to a video of Ian Carroll. I'm not going to name names, but I was told by someone close to Charlie Kirk that Charlie thinks Israel will kill him if he turns against them. Now, we can look back in history and see who might have had that very same treatment. Well, we can look at John F. Kennedy, where Jack Rubenstein, aka Jack Ruby, takes out Lee Harvey Oswald, said he's a patsy, and JFK wanting to have AIPAC register as a foreign agent, and then the World Zionist Organization, and also the nuclear program that JFK was trying to shut down. These things we all know. This is established fact. Suspicious? Not quite. Pretty damning evidence that we have. So, the very next day, Charlie makes this post. He posts this on X. This is not promising. The West should not have to absorb yet another Muslim influx. What happens in Brussels will soon happen in Brooklyn. The West shouldn't take in a single person from Gaza. Israel and Arab neighbors need to figure it out. Okay, well, that's not necessarily in complete defiance of Israel, but we are all familiar with Charlie Kirk's allegiance to Israel. Israel helped him get Turning Point to where it was. They're, of course, receiving money from Israel. This has been the narrative with Charlie Kirk, is just he doesn't really criticize Israel, whatever. But we're in a point in time where we are rather occupied. We have a 5th column in America, in our government, money from NGOs and AIPAC and Israel, and the money that we lend Israel that comes back. This whole thing, it's not a conspiracy anymore. Charlie didn't ever criticize Israel to the degree that honest brokers of information would like for him to criticize them. There's plenty. He didn't really criticize their actions in Gaza. Now, here's an interesting clip that I think we should watch together. Listen.
That Epstein, with his little friend Ghislaine and Ghislaine's father, Robert Maxwell.
Now, I might add that Ghislaine Maxwell, father Robert Maxwell, the Israeli super spy was what he went by. He was helped facilitate. In fact, he was the lead guy in hijacking, we'll call it, the Promise software, which was prosecutorial monitoring or prosecutorial management information system. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. But that was used for prosecuting cases. It was a database, so you didn't have to use files anymore, paper files. He was instrumental in stealing that and compromising that with the Israeli government so that there would be a backdoor so that Israel could get nuclear secrets. This was, you can look this stuff up. I'm not going to get all the way into it. But anyway, Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, and then you've got Jeffrey Epstein, who was doing blackmail operations for Mossad. Anyhow, this is indisputable. There's too much evidence. It's just too... So Charlie Kirk saying this on his show, this is on January 4th of last year, 2024. I'm not saying that Israel had a role in this, but don't put it past them. So
obviously a spy of the Israeli intelligence agencies, but there was something else going on here. Epstein was not some sort of whiz-kid hedge fund manager. Epstein was playing a part. Epstein was a LARPer. Epstein was cast for a specific role, and he played it really well. The sweatpants and the Harvard jacket, the kind of disheveled hair, looking as if he was so smart and above the clouds that he was doing advanced mathematic equations on the back of napkins. But if you actually go into some of the videos of people that met with Epstein at the time, they said he was awfully unimpressive when it came to finance and markets and economics. And it's nothing new that if you're in the intel agencies, you want to try and get as much blackmail on powerful people as possible. Easy, not hard. And this is no longer just speculation. First of all, the evidence that shows that Epstein was a creation of either Mossad, Israeli intelligence, American intelligence, Saudi intelligence, or maybe he was just a hired gun. Maybe he was just the guy that countries would go to and park a couple $100 million and say, hey, can you get one of the members of the royal family with a 13-year-old so we can get them to do what we want to do? Members of Congress are actively being blackmailed. The Epstein playbook is being used on a daily basis. Jeffrey Epstein was not a financier. He was not a hedge fund manager. Jeffrey Epstein was a key player in a multi-decade blackmail operation against the most powerful people on the planet.
Yeah. Res ipsa loquitur. This, right there, we know this stuff. Charlie Kirk going against the grain with Israel. You work with Israel, you work for Israel. Any criticism of Israel, Charlie Kirk even said himself when he was talking to Megyn Kelly, take my word for it or don't, go watch the video. Charlie Kirk said, verbatim, I can criticize Israel less than Israelis can criticize Israel. When you're on the payroll or you're working with them, anyway, I'm not making any decisive claims. I'm not making conclusive claims that Israel had a part in this. I'm really not. But it's all too suspicious and all too coincidental that a guy gets access to a roof, makes an ace shot 400 yards or 400 feet away, 200 yards, and takes him out. And then we have a guy who, as a matter of fact, if you'll let me find it here, we have a guy that, this is rather interesting the more you think about it. We have a guy here who says, arrest me, I'm the shooter. The shooter was still at large at the time. Individual in the post was detained during the shooting of Charlie Kirk and has since been released. What does this give the shooter time to do? Gives him time to escape. This is the escape plan. We've got patsies, you get time to dip. So now you see there's a potential for an orchestrated plan that was carried out with precision. It's all too possible, folks. And Charlie, again, we need to continue harping on the point that Charlie was unbelievably influential, had a huge role in shaping discourse, in shaping the minds of the younger generation. And he was influential and he was great at debating, but he was so active. He worked all the time. He's at a different college in a different state day to day, and he has these huge events. Back to the conspiracy angle of things, he did just have a Turning Point convention where he had Dave Smith come on and debated Israel, and it was not pro-Israel, and a lot of us were shocked with the fact that he did this. Now, lastly, I want you to see two things from the left. So this is absolutely breathtakingly stupid, and you see my post here. It pisses me the fuck off. So it doesn't. You don't have to like my language. Appreciate the message.
In which a shooting like this happens.
Yeah, and again, I emphasize what you just emphasized. We don't know any of the full details of this. That we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea about.
In which a shooting like this.
So it's a shooter. The shooter was a supporter who accidentally shot his gun off. Are you fucking kidding me? That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my whole life. Oh, so let me shoot. This is a mournful time and sad. Trust me, I'm heartbroken for his family, his kids, and his wife. But who shoots his gun off, aims down sight, down the scope of his rifle, and in a celebratory way shoots directly at the leader of this movement? To me, that sounds fucking stupid, but I could just be crazy. Anyway, we've got these sick bastards here who are relishing in the fact that, and we'll close out with this, we know who we're up against. We know the behavior of these people, and we know what they support, and we know how they operate. We can't continue to put up with it and tolerate it. But just the disgusting nature, the mental illness that permeates throughout the left. And I hate the terms left and right. There is no left and right. There's controlled and there's not controlled. There's seekers of truth and there's brokers of lies. That's the way it is. But this is what the left says. Look at this retard. I mean,
I'm not saying she deserved it, but I'm saying God's timing is always right.
we got more.
There are a lot of people that are like, no matter what side of politics you're on, you should never celebrate something bad happening to someone. I, on the other hand, do cheer when bad things happen to bad people.
Charlie Kirk just got shot.
Well, breaking fucking news, folks. Seems somebody just took a shot at one of the Fanta-Fastest favorite 5-mile-wide mouthpieces, Charles Chucklefuck Kirk.
Notice, except for the last girl, all of these people look like fucking losers. Ugly, stupid, multiple piercings, face tattoos, fat and a hideous beard, unkept, ungroomed, disgusting retard. I mean, these are retarded people. This is what we get when you have MK Ultra level programming that's just been perfected over time, and 5G waves and the mainstream media and algorithms pushing a narrative about fascism and Nazism down the throats of people who are not stable, who are on pharmaceutical drugs that alter your brain chemistry, and they have shitty lives. They're broke. They have no fucking money, and they don't have nowhere to go and nothing to do in life except for complain about things they don't have and complain about oppression, because all you got to do, you just have to assume when people have no time on their hands, an idle mind is the devil's playground. These people are retarded. But that's about all I got. Pray for his family. This is so sad. It's heartbreaking. I'll tell you, in closing, yes, Charlie, it is a turning point. America is at a turning point, and we won't keep putting up with this shit. It's waking too many people up. And we see race violence. We see black people getting, or repeat offenders, black people who commit crime way above their population at percentages of like 85% of violent crime. This demographic we see, like the young woman, Ilya, her name was, I believe, Ilya, but the Ukrainian refugee who got stabbed in the neck. We see violent crime on the left constantly. We see encouragement of crime. We see people not face the repercussions of their actions, who only continue to recommit crimes, violence specifically. And now we have political assassinations. This is like revolutionary shit. This is revolutionary times that we're living in. And guess what? The kinder, more compassionate side of things is going to get taken advantage of until we decide, hold up, you motherfuckers gotta go. That's what I gotta say. It is a turning point, Charlie, and you've been martyred. We won't let this go.